Here's how you manage files from within VI. These are all colon commands, which means that you type the colon, you'll see the prompt at the bottom of the screen, then you type a letter or letters and hit return to execute the command. :W writes the current file from memory to the disk, but leaves you still in VI so you can edit it some more. You can do a :Q to quit VI without writing, and you would probably do this if you had not made any changes to the file. If you have made changes to the file and you type :Q, you'll get a warning indicating that there are unsaved changes. In this case, you have to repeat the command :Q with an exclamation point to force VI to quit, abandoning the changes. While you're in command mode, you can type :VI and then another file name in order to edit a different file. This closes the file that you were editing, so if there were any changes, it'll warn you about it. You can either write the file or use :VI exclamation point and another file name to edit a different file. You can also specify multiple file names on the VI command line. When you do this, you can use :N to stop editing the current file and move to the next one from the command line, or :N to stop editing the current file and go back to the previous one. You can also use :REW to rewind to the beginning of the command line. Finally, I'll mention the :R command. This one's different from the rest in that it reads a file from the disk and inserts it into the file that you're currently editing right below the current cursor position. One additional command that's very important for file management is Control-G. If you type Control-G in command mode, it will display the file name, the line number, the column number, and the current status of the file, whether it's modified or not, at the bottom of the screen. So I'll give you a demonstration of these. So we'll start off by editing our Duke of York example. So here you see the file name, the line number, and the total number of characters at the bottom. We can use :W to write the current modified state of the file. Of course, I haven't actually made any edits to the disk, but we're still in VI. Now I'll type I and add "this is a new file," return at the top, and escape to exit insert mode and return to command mode. I'll use Control-G to display the current file name and status. So we're still editing dukeofyork.txt, but it's modified, which means that the image of the file in memory doesn't match the current state of the file on the disk. We're on the second line out of 9, 22% of the way into the file, and the cursor is currently positioned at column 1. If I want to save this modified file to a different file name, I can type :W, and then I'll call it newfile.txt. What this does is it stores the current buffer contents in newfile.txt, and you see at the bottom of the screen that it's marked as a new file. It just created it. However, it's important to note that when you use this :W command to write to a different file name, I'll hit Control-G. It shows that as far as VI is concerned, we're still editing dukeofyork.txt. So :W writes out a copy of that file. When I try to quit, it warns me that there are unsaved changes in the buffer. Now I know that I saved out a copy of this buffer at newfile.txt, so I'm going to :Q exclamation point to force VI to quit, abandoning my changes. If we take a look at our original dukeofyork.txt file, we'll see that it does not contain that modification we made. But if we take a look at the new file.txt that we just created, you see at the very top it says, "This is a new file." Now I'll show you what happens when you edit multiple files. I'm going to edit dukeofyork.txt and newfile.txt in a single editing session. So in this case, you see that we're editing Duke of York. If I do :N, it steps to the next file from the command line, which is newfile.txt. If I do :N, it steps back to the first one. Alternatively, I can rewind all the way to the beginning, in this case there are only 2, using the :rewind command. Now if I make some changes, and then I try to do :N, it won't let me. So at this point I could do :W to write the change that I just made to dukeofyork.txt, or I can do :N exclamation point to force VI to go to the next file without writing. Finally, I'll note that when you try to go past the last line on the command line, if you do :N, you get this warning, cannot go beyond last file.